Hi, I'm Ariel. You're watching She Wants the Diction, and today I'm going to be talking about uniform discrimination. Uniform discrimination is not actually a real term. It's just something that I made up to describe an experience that I keep having at my different workplaces that I've had, like over my work history, and that is being discriminated against for wearing the same uniform that everyone else in my workplace is wearing, but on my body, I am asked to change what I'm wearing. People call it inappropriate and tell me that I need to get something different. And basically the reason that they're saying that is because I have a curvy body type, which is a result of the race that I am, the natural features that I have from being Black, and just the experience of being the only person that is singled out, called out, and just told that my natural body is inappropriate. And for the people that are saying or thinking to themselves, well, this is all in your head, this isn't real, that's not why they're saying those things to you, I just want to say, I know this is real because it's a repeated experience that keeps happening to me. And I've already explained in a previous video some of the discrimination that I go through in the workplace because of the fact that I wear my natural hair and the fact that I have short hair. So if you're interested in hearing about that, I will go ahead and link that video up in the cards. But this video is going to be all about the uniform and my body, all about how my body is discriminated against in the workplace. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of background. There was an incident last week that really prompted me to want to sit down and make this video because I think it's something that can really get overlooked and something that a lot of people, unless you experience it, you don't really think about it. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you guys exactly where I work, but I work at a 3-star hotel. I am a housekeeper, and true to stereotype, most of the women that I work with are women of color. And I do think that the workplace has some low-key racism in it, just for the simple fact that every person that works at the front desk is a white person, majority white women, and almost every single person that works in housekeeping is a person of color. So I would say the demographics in the housekeeping department are something like maybe 75% Latina, a handful of white people, and I'm really gonna go ahead and say white trash because about half of these people have made a remark or a statement or comment that has alerted me to the fact that they're racist. Just straight up to my face, they have no qualms about it. There's one Asian woman and then there's me, which if you guys don't know, I'm a mix between Black and white. Black dad, white mom. There you go. 100% 50-50 mixed. That is my ethnicity. But most people would classify me as Black. So I'm the only Black person working at this entire hotel. Fact. That's something that's pretty common for the area that I live. I live in Springfield, Missouri, for those of you that don't know. So it is very conservative, Bible Belt, whatever you want to call it, town that has literally like a 90% white population. So it's pretty common for me to be the only Black person at where I work, one of very few people of color, whatever. So, incident that happened was my manager approached me and asked me to get a new pair of pants. Understandable, right? I kind of knew that my pants were looking rough. I'm like, they're pretty worn down. I got them at the thrift store to begin with. And really the main problem with these pair of pants is that one of the back pockets was coming loose, like coming away from the seams, but it wasn't like all the way ripped. It was just like hanging a little bit. So I knew that pocket was ripped. It's ripped because I have to carry a lot of things on my person as a housekeeper. I have to carry a set of keys to unlock, like the shampoo bottles, the doors, and those are clipped to my regular keys because I don't trust leaving them in the break room because there's people in and out of there and all kinds of people that walk into the hotel that aren't supposed to be there. I have rags, I have name cards that we have to leave in every single room. Like my pockets, when I'm working, the pockets of my smock are both full. And then on top of that, I need to have my cell phone on me, so that's usually my back pocket. So literally one day I had so much stuff in my back pocket that my back pocket ripped. It was not like an intentional thing. Like I knew about it. So she's like, I need you to get a new pair of pants. And I'm like, okay, well, is it because of the rip in, the back pocket? And she's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to think frugally because, this job is paying me around $10 an hour, part-time. I'm already barely making money to pay my bills. So I'm like, okay, well, what if I just got rid of the pocket, remove the pocket, there's nothing hanging, there's nothing there, and there was no fabric showing. There was no rip in the pants. You could not see underwear, nothing like that. It was just simply the pocket hanging a little bit. And she was like, no, I don't think that's going to work. So I was like, okay, I will work on getting a new pair of pants. There haven't been that many hours lately, so I don't have a ton of spare cash, but you know what? I will look into getting a new pair of pants. And she was like, okay, thank you. If you have problems with it, just let me know. Now, this might seem like just a normal interaction, but there's more background to it than you guys know. First of all, it is extremely difficult for me to find pants that fit me. And the reason for this is because of my body measurements. I have literally like a few pairs of pants and jeans in my normal life that I wear like every single day because it is so difficult for me to find pairs of pants that fit to my body. I know you guys usually only see me like from the waist up, but I am curvy, and I'm not curvy in the traditional sense of an hourglass shape. Like I have a very flat chest, and I'm okay with that. I've accepted that. But my waist to hip ratio, I have very wide, full hips and a very big butt, like it's just a fact. And so my waist and hips, there's like a 10-inch difference, I'm not exaggerating, between them. If you ever measured for your clothes, like those are the measurements that I'm talking about. So tiny waist, large hips. So it is extremely difficult for me to find pants that fit around my hips and that also fit to my waist because they need to be smaller up on the waist and wider down at the hips, but I need to be able to get them over my hips so the waist can't be too small. So I know a lot of women have problems with jeans and jean shopping. I'm right there with you, but it is doubly difficult for me because of the proportions of my body. So literally the only jeans that I've ever found that fit me comfortably are Levi's. Literally every single pair of jeans that I own, Levi's. And so this pair of pants that I found, I thrifted. So I didn't like buy this offline or anything like that. And they were like a pair of stretch pants, just like, I don't know how to describe it, like bell-bottom leg, like flare leg, just plain black, stretchy, pant material. It wasn't like leggings, it wasn't anything like that. So I'm like, okay, this pair of pants is going to be hard to replace because it needs to be something that I can move in, right? Housekeeping, you're making beds, you're bending down, you're picking up trash, you're leaning on one knee, bending on one knee. You are constantly moving. You're reaching up high to dust stuff. Like it is very, very active. It is one of the most physical jobs that I've ever had and is extremely physically demanding. You're lifting laundry. You're lifting bundles of blankets, heavy, wet towels. Like this is physically demanding. You need something with stretch that you can move in. But the key is not too stretchy or you can get told that your things are leggings or that they're inappropriate, but you need to be able to move and have comfort. So it's a fine balance to strike. It was difficult for me to find a pair of pants that really worked. And these pants were perfect other than the pocket. And there's one other thing that you need to know about the situation when she asked this of me. Previously, the assistant manager, and this was a few months ago over the summer, she had told us that we could wear shorts. Okay, so I see other people, other girls wearing long black leggings, sweatpants. I assumed that if I wore a pair of shorts that was like stretchy, fitted, plain black material, that it would be fine. So I wore a pair of bike shorts, cotton bike shorts, and they reached about just above my knee is where they were hitting. And I was basically told that they were inappropriate and they needed to be actual shorts. The thing about this is that I saw other girls working there wearing leggings. So when she confronted me about this, I was like, I really feel like I'm being singled out because I've seen other girls wearing leggings and this is kind of a similar material. And she was like, who have you seen doing that? I named two of the girls and I said, I know that one of those girls is pregnant, so I understand that. But the other girl is just wearing leggings. She's not pregnant. And so this manager was like, well, she knows she's not supposed to be doing that. I'm going to have a talk with her. I'm like, okay. Because like if you're going to criticize me for something, then you need to criticize the other people. The rule needs to be fair for everyone. And the fact that I said that I felt singled out, I think was why the next day that she made a public announcement to everyone that everyone needed to be wearing pants. For days after this, I keep seeing this girl wearing leggings. And I'm like, what is going on? Like I went and that's when I went and got the pair of pants that's in question now. But I went and got the pair of pants and I see this girl still wearing leggings. And I was like, they literally just made that announcement to make it look like they're being fair. But clearly there's some favoritism at play here. The assistant manager is Latina. The girl that was wearing the leggings, even after we were all told not to wear the leggings, was Latina. And I can't decide if there was like some favoritism going on there or, you know, what it was, because all the Latinas are like super tight with each other. Most of them speak majority Spanish and don't understand that much English. And so a lot of us that speak English, we aren't really close because we can't understand each other physically. So I was like, it's either favoritism or, you know, just plain racism, because this Latina girl that is wearing these leggings is very like stick figure. She's straight up and down. She's skinny. And I'm thinking, because I'm wearing something that is fitted, and because of the natural curves of my body and the fact that I have a big ass and I'm not stick thin and I have hips, it's deemed as inappropriate. When literally I'm just wearing the same or equivalent things as everyone else. I am being discriminated against for my natural bodily features. And that is what really incensed me. And so that's why I took the pants thing so fucking personal, because it is not the first time at this job that I feel like I've been singled out for what I've been wearing. And it's not even the first job at which I have had problems. That's the sad part. So my previous job, I'll put a picture of the pair of shorts that I wore at the time that I was working, because I also used them in my cosplay, but it was a pair of khaki shorts. They hit about mid-thigh, maybe a little lower. Most people would consider that very, very decent, very, very standard. So I would wear these and the uniform button-down shirt, and a lot of customers would complain to my manager at the time that what I was wearing was inappropriate. Everyone else could be wearing the same exact equivalent, even skimpier things than that, and they would not be complained against. I literally overheard this lady complaining to my manager that my shorts were inappropriate, that I should not be allowed to wear those, and just like all these things just going off. And I was like, this is racism. Like literally, just because of the shape of my body, I'm sexualized whether I want to be or not. Like Black women's bodies are just automatically sexualized, automatically considered inappropriate. And it's just, I mean, my boss, thank God, the boss that I had there just kind of listened to them and didn't really say anything to me about it. Like, I feel like he understood like what was happening and he didn't get on to me. But yeah, I just couldn't believe that people were so open in their hatred of my body and assuming that I was being sexual when I was just wearing the same or equivalent things as everyone else in my workplace. So that is why I really think the fact that these incidents keep happening is not an accident. I think it is a cloaked way of discrimination. It's telling me that my natural body, in my uniform, in my pair of black pants, when I've seen other girls wearing literal sweatpants, is inappropriate. And it's just amazingly hypocritical as well. Because let me tell you something. Black bodies, black features are so desired, but not on black bodies. People like Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian, other white girls that try to emulate with implants and lip fillers and injections and all these things to try to emulate the natural figure, the natural full-bodied figure of that a lot of black women possess. They are lauded. They are held up as an example of femininity and all these things to strive for, and the golden, you know, just like the ideal. They are held up as the ideal. But my actual body, on which I have actual big lips, these are not injections, on which I have actual hips and actual butt. This is not fucking butt implants. This is my natural butt. My natural body is sexualized, demonized, and discriminated against on a daily fucking basis. But when these white girls emulate it, like, they're the greatest thing ever. And I am punished for not having the thin default body. I recently just finished The Body Is Not an Apology by Sonya Renee Taylor, and she talks about the more that your body deviates from the default, the more that society will try to, you know, beat you down, essentially. And so because I deviate from that racially, and I deviate from that, you know, in my actual figure, I'm punished for it. And I'm the only one who's asked to take my money and buy a new pair of pants. I'm the only one who's asked to keep spending and spending on new uniforms and just constantly hounded about it. Like, I am the only one in the workplace. But the thin white people, if your uniform hangs on you, then that's fine. If you're naturally fuller, then that's a problem. That's inappropriate. And so I just wanted to speak out about this because I felt just so helpless. And I was literally upset to the point where, if you follow me on Instagram, on my Instagram stories, I was posting an Instagram story about just how, like, hurt and angry and sad and upset this shit makes me feel. And really the only thing that I can do about it, it's not like we have a local chapter of the NAACP I can go report this injustice to and sue them and fight it or something. Like, there's literally nothing I can do. I am planning to get the pair of pants. I'm working on it. I went to the thrift store literally a few days ago looking for this elusive pair of pants, and I'm planning on buying multiples just in case, if I can find them, so that if one pair of pants is deemed inappropriate, I can switch to the next pair of pants and hope those are passable. But I just wanted to speak out on this because this is such an overlooked thing, and it can help on feeling powerless to make people aware. If that's all I could do from this experience is make people aware, then that's something that I would like to do, that I go through this. It's not something that I see talked about, but it is a cloaked aspect of what I feel like is racism. It's racial discrimination at its core, because I cannot help my shape, the way that I naturally am, the way that I'm naturally born. I can't help the color of my skin. I can't help the curviness of my frame. I can't help how big my hip bones are. I can't help the way that my hair curls. Like, there's nothing about this that I am purposely doing, and being made to feel every day as though there's something wrong with the way I am is just fucked up. It's fucked up beyond belief. So yeah, I coined that term for it, uniform discrimination, because I don't really know what it's called, if there's a name for it. And, you know, one of the things that Sonya Renee Taylor said in her book was there were a lot of prompts inviting you to reflect on when these attacks to your body image really began, and what is the source of your thoughts and feelings about your body. And really, for me, I just want to make you all aware, I don't have problems with who I am. I don't have a problem with being black. I don't have a problem with my hair. I don't have a problem. I love being black. I love my skin. I love like there's nothing wrong with me. I know this. I love myself. The problem that I have is the way that when I go out in the world, the way that I am treated for not being the default body, for not being white, the way that I am just spat upon by everyone and everything, and it gets a person down. It really, really does. I think that's why there are a lot of mental health issues in the black communities, because people go out every day like they're fighting a fucking war, and they have to be on guard against this shit because it's just constant. It's just a barrage. Like, it's all you can do to get through your day, because the racism and the microaggressions and the discrimination and all the little things that combine to just make you feel like shit. And every little interaction becomes that much more painful when you know someone's going to say something off the cuff that's racist to you and trigger that whole just avalanche of shitty things that anyone's ever said to you. Like, I wish I could just encapsulate it for you just so much better, but I'm trying. I don't even know where that thread started. But what I wanted to talk about is how she encouraged me to think about where your body image, where was it corrupted? Because as children, we love our bodies. We have no problem with our bodies. We have no problem being in our bodies. We love this. And I have no problem with myself as an adult. I love myself. Like I said, it's the way that the world treats me that I despise and that makes me feel shitty. I thought about it, and from childhood, I really had very little bodily autonomy. One of the things that was required of me as a kid was that I had to wear either skirts or dresses to church. Okay, that's like a twofold thing. I had to attend church, and then I also had to wear, this feminine marker. I remember fighting against my mom telling me what to wear, like maybe like 4th or 5th grade. I started like wanting to pick my own clothes and lay my own things out. And I actually got into an epic fight with my mom because she wanted me to wear what she picked, and I wanted to, assert my individuality to an extent, and she would not let me. And I remember crying like all day because she made me wear these ugly, I called them the jalapeno pants. It was like these ugly bright green pants, and there was also an ugly bright red pair of jeans. They were like formless, single color jeans, like the most 90s thing you've ever seen. And I was crying because I didn't want to wear them. I thought they were ridiculous. I thought these bright red pants just made me look so stupid. And I was crying and I was upset. So I think that was probably one of the earliest times when I learned that I didn't have bodily autonomy. And that's a message that, that was enforced by my own parents, which I think is really messed up. And I rebelled against the skirts thing. I didn't enjoy being hyper feminine past a certain age. And later I would even come to question, Christianity as a religion. And one of the other things my parents forced me to do was to grow out my hair really, really long. If I can, I'll insert a scan of like a picture of me as a kid so you guys can see how long my hair was. Like, I had never cut it. And I think I was a preteen when I started being like begging to cut it, asking to cut it, repeatedly, I was asking to cut it, and they were always like, no, 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 we'll see. I think I just eventually wore them down, and my dad eventually allowed me to cut it like maybe mid down my back, so it still wasn't short by any means, but before I had hair that was almost touching my ass. So it was like very religiously conservative type shit, where it was like, we're going to tell you what to wear. You have to wear skirts or dresses to church. You have to have very long feminine hair. All these things that were established that I had to do, that as I got older, I didn't want to do those things. I wanted to assert my individuality, which is what kids, teenagers, like, that's the shit that they do, right? And my parents were pretty extreme, I felt like. You know, like most people don't make their kids grow out their hair and never allow them to cut it. Most people don't make their kids attend church wearing a specific item that I know of. Like, I feel like most kids didn't grow up the way that I did, which I think was pretty fucking strict. So another thing, and this is more of like a general parents living vicariously through their children. It wasn't just my appearance, but it was also the activities that I was allowed to do. So when I was a kid, I liked to read a lot. I would prefer to stay inside rather than being outdoors and doing activities. So when we would go on vacations, my dad would get mad at me for not wanting to do the activities and go out and swim and, you know, ride bumper cars and ride amusement park rides with everyone else, because I just literally just wanted to stay inside and read books. And like, he never understood that. Like, he always wanted me to be like this active, sporty, extrovert person that I just was not. He just could not understand why it was so much fun for me to like sit there and just read, even though he's the fucking person that like taught me to read. I guess he just never figured that I would be like so into it or something. So this translated in a lot of different ways. My parents trying to live vicariously through me. And I'm going to give a couple examples here. I'm pretty sure that my dad actually wanted a son. I mean, I have a younger brother that's only 2 years younger than me, but my dad had played baseball as a kid. And I think really, I don't know exactly what happened. I think he got injured, but he was really, really good and thought that he could maybe play on like, I don't know if it was a college level, or he just always had this idea that he could be really, really good, and everything looked promising for him until he got injured. So one of the things that he had me do was play baseball, and this was maybe like 6th or 7th grade. So I'm a girl, and 6th or 7th grade, like middle school age, is the age where they start splitting off, you know, boys into baseball and girls into softball. But no, he wanted me to play baseball, actual baseball. Never mind the fact that I had an actual brother that was 2 years younger. My brother had like some health problems, such as asthma, and that was probably, since he didn't have a whole lot of obvious athletic talent, my dad probably just put it all onto me. I don't really know what his thinking was there, but I played on a baseball team. He found one that was, you know, an actual baseball team that would let me join, and it was with the Boys and Girls Club. And so here I am with long hair down to my butt, the only girl on an entire team of boys. Literally. And I played baseball. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. But I suffered through it because, like, that's what my dad wanted me to do. Like, I didn't really feel like I had much say in it. And I didn't like it. Like, I've never liked sports. And that's another one of those instances where, like, I was forced into something. I was told, you don't have autonomy. You don't have a choice. This is what you're going to do, and this is how you're going to do it. And, like, that wasn't what I was interested in at all. Okay, another example. I hate to like dredge up all the childhood trauma here, but I'm just trying to like show you guys, I don't know, maybe just open up and like show you where I think all this shit starts young and it's still here. Like, I'm still dealing with being told I don't have autonomy. So the other example that I have is that my dad told me this story that when he was a kid, his dad wouldn't let him learn how to type because he considered like secretary work and things like that a woman's profession, so he was never able to learn how to type. And I believed the story that my dad told me, because when you see him type, he does that kind of like sort of pecking thing that older people do when they don't actually know how to touch type. So one of the things he made me do was enroll in computer keyboarding in high school, and as one of my electives. So I was kind of pissed about that, because like your electives are supposed to be things you choose, right? So computer keyboarding, not only that, so computer keyboarding was, you know, 1 semester. So I also had to take college computer keyboarding. So that was another semester of typing. And I remember just at the time being so mad, because the idea of electives is that I was supposed to pick them, right? My dad picked my electives for me. Like, I just felt so cheated out of that. And I was mad at him. Like, I was mad at him for a long time. And literally, this is an example where it actually turned out for the better, but it was only later on in my life that I appreciated that I learned to touch type so fast, because I saw other people struggling with the keyboard, and I saw, just like how much I like to be on the internet and stuff like that. And I would say it's definitely an advantage now that I learned that when I was younger and have that skill just like embedded in me. So that was something that actually turned out well. But again, it's still the idea of autonomy. Like, I would not have chosen that had my dad not forced me. But so me and my parents disagreed on a lot of things. I'm just saying that bodily autonomy is taught young. And this comes from, outside ourselves, the messages we're given from our parents, from our friends, from society. I feel like from a young age, I was given this message that my body, is not appropriate. Because like when I started going through puberty, my mom would just, I remember I'd come downstairs wearing something, and my dad would just kind of be like, I know you don't think you're going out in that. Or my mom would be like, that's too much booty in those shorts. And it's like, I was a 6th grader. At that point, did not know what sex was. There was no way I was attempting to purposely be sexual. But I was told, whoa, whoa, whoa. Your body's going to be a temptation to boys. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're not going out with all that hanging out. Like, it was already sexualized. Like, that's what I don't understand. And this was from my own parents. So imagine society. Just imagine, like, I was innocent and I was already being told there's something wrong with you. And now I'm being told that in a context as a fully grown adult by my white superiors at my menial job. Like, it has not stopped. It's just become racialized. When a skinny white person can wear the same exact thing as me, but I'm singled out with my brown, curvy body, I don't know what more to call it other than racism. So these are messages that that started out very young. Is that I'm not allowed to choose what goes on my body. I'm not allowed to choose. I don't get a say. And that's kind of society as a whole saying to women, like, do what you're told. Shut up, sit down, look pretty, Don't speak up, make yourself smaller, diet, all this shit. From a very young age that started. And then I was told that my body, my developing body, I was going through puberty, was too much of a temptation to boys. I needed to cover that up. I mean, you can look at it, I suppose, as my parents trying to protect me. But I really think if that's what they were trying to do, was protect me from, dangerous situations with boys or men or predators, that they could have phrased it better and not made it sound like it was my butt's fault for being too big, or it was my leg's fault for being too thick. It should have been phrased differently. The Body is Not an Apology. I could not have listened to that audiobook at a more apt time. It was just perfectly timed for me, because it's making me see how these messages about my body image have just been stacked onto me from a young age, and they continue because of my racialized identity. And so it's just making me think about my journey with body image and body acceptance and all that stuff, because I've definitely struggled with body acceptance throughout my life. I know I have primarily a white audience on this channel, but if you guys have had experiences with uniform discrimination, if you feel comfortable to share it, go ahead and comment and let me know. Please let me know, because it's the topic that obviously, like, I care a lot about. I'm passionate about it. Like, I experience it, and it's just one more aspect of systemic racism that we have to fight, we have to be aware of, we have to look out for. And also, like, if you're a white person, if you're a person who fits more closely to the default body, and you see someone at your work being unfairly called out for what they're wearing or what they look like or their natural hair, you have the power to step in and speak up, because it's sad, but it's more likely that you will be listened to. You have the power to intervene on their behalf. And even if you don't have the strength to intervene, you can always go and ask them privately, are you okay? Do you need anything? Like, support them. Support the fuck out of them, because it is hard to be the only person who sees what is happening to you. It's hard when no one notices or no one cares what's happening to you, and you have to be the only person to fight that. So if you see someone going through that, like, please support them, stand up for them, stick up for them. Like, it makes all the difference in the world. That's what I have to say on uniform discrimination. Hope you guys are having a happy Black History Month. I figured this was quite the appropriate topic, if a little deep and a little serious, but I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.